students. In previous session, under biological classification, we have completed first two kingdoms along with their classification. First kingdom is Monera, which includes prokaryotes, unicellular organisms. They fall in two groups like Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. Second kingdom, which includes diverse forms, unicellular eukaryotic organisms which always found in water or in moist region. And kingdom name is Protista. Under Protista, the organisms based on their habitat, their presence of cell wall and its component, mode of nutrition, classified under 5 divisions like Chrysophyta, Dinoflagellata, Euglenoidea, slime molds, and protozoan protists. In today's session, I will begin with kingdom number 3, kingdom Mycota, which includes fungi. Now, what fungi are? These are organisms. As per Robert Whittaker's 5 kingdom classification, fungi are unicellular, but they always live in a group. So, we call them as colonial. This colony forms filament. Now, this filament may be branched or unbranched, but each cell representing an individual organism. But most of the fungi, they are multicellular. They are eukaryotic with true nucleus. Membrane-bound organelles are present, but they don't have plastids. So, there is no question of photosynthetic pigment. So, we call them as achlorophyllous, without chlorophyll. The mode of nutrition is heterotrophic or saprotrophic. When they derive nutrients from the dead bodies, then we call them as saprotrophic. Absorptive mode of nutrition belongs to heterotrophic. Now, the speciality of fungi, when we compare with cell wall of Monera and cell wall of Protista, here the cells are protected by the cell wall which contain polysaccharide along with chitin. So, in other words, we can mention that cells are protected and covered by chitinous cell wall. This is peculiar feature of kingdom Mycota. Now, fungal body. It is composed of thread-like microscopic structures, and these structures we call hyphae. Now, there are two types of hyphae. It is shown in the form of diagram. These are aseptate hyphae, which include cell wall, which is composed of chitin, having cytoplasm with many nuclei. So, multinucleated cytoplasm in hyphae is known as cenocytic hyphae. This is important for 1 mark. Septate. Now, if you look at these two diagrams, you can easily recognize why we call them as aseptate, why we call here as septate. Septa is a partition. Here, between two nuclei, there is no wall or there is no partition at all. Here, between two nuclei, there is a partition, and this partition we call septa. Most of the fungi which are well developed, they have septate hyphae. Now, hyphae are not single, they form bundle. It forms a rope-like structure. They intertwine with each other and they form a bundle. So, bundle of hyphae we call mycelia. So, fungal body shows mycelia. Mycelia is bundle of hyphae. Hyphae are thread-like structures. Maybe aseptate in lower fungi, septate in higher fungi. And each cell in fungal is protected by chitinous cell wall. This you have to remember. Mycelia comes together to form a proper fungal body, and this fungal body we call fruiting body. The name given fruiting body because after attaining maturity, they go for reproduction. Now, what kind of reproduction they show, that will continue here. The most basic type of classification in fungi in favorable condition. Now, what favorable condition they want? They require decaying organic matter. They require moist condition, optimum temperature. So, if these conditions persist, they can easily undergo a reproduction that we call vegetative reproduction. Now this vegetative reproduction is by fission, then by budding, or by regeneration. Okay, there is one more. We call it as fragmentation. Okay, let us see one by one. In fission, single cell divide giving two cells divide giving 4 cells. Thus, fungal filament goes on enlarging and start absorbing the nutrients to form hyphae, then mycelia, then matures as a fruiting body. Here, each hyphae or mycelia will produce protrusions. Even the protrusions are produced by the cells. These protrusions we call outgrowths. The outgrowth will develop on a parental cell which will detach after attaining maturity and grow as a separate individual. Regeneration. If they lose any part of hyphae or mycelia, they have ability to regenerate that. And if the mycelium body is cut into pieces, each piece will develop into new organism. Here no gamete production, no special structures developed, so we call it as vegetative reproduction. Coming to second type, we call asexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, the main is asexual spores. Now these spores are of two types. N we call haploid. 2N we call diploid. Each spore develops into new organism. No gametes are produced, no fertilization. In adverse climatic condition, when there is no moisture, when temperature is maximum, when decaying matter is less, they have to sustain till the favorable condition commence. So a parental body will produce spores by mitosis or by meiosis. Now if you have confusion, what is this N, 2N, that I'll be describing later slowly. So at present, you just remember that asexual reproduction by producing asexual spores. Now these spores have ability to undergo fusion and they go for the next reproduction, and that we call sexual reproduction. Now why we call it as sexual reproduction? It requires genetic recombination. Don't always believe that whenever there is a male and female producing the gamete, then only we have to say sexual reproduction. Nothing like that. When the two different cells sharing their genetic material, giving the best progeny, which having ability to adjust with the surrounding and become mature to give rise next generation. It is also known as sexual reproduction. Now for sexual reproduction, they produce special spores. These are called ascospores. They are also called as basidiospores. Now what these ascospores and basidiospores will do? Say this is spore. It undergoes cell division. The genetic material, that is chromosome number, is haploid. This we call it as N. This we call primary mycelia with all haploid condition. This is another having N number of chromosomes. Even this is haploid. These two come together and start fusing. So N plus N, this fusion for which we call sexual reproduction. So these two we call primary mycelia, which are haploid in nature, undergo fusion. Now after fusion, it will form a diploid secondary mycelium. It has nucleus with 2n. So here it is a combination of two genetic materials whose survival rate is more better than earlier parents. So this we call it as secondary mycelium, and this will grow into a new body. So two primary mycelia fuse to form secondary mycelium, and it will develop into new organism. Now there are three phases. Okay, this is one cell, this is another cell. Okay, they two come together. First they fuse by their cytoplasm, and this we call it as plasmogamy. Later, after fusion, this is a cell with two nuclei having n plus n. This we call dikaryophase, means karyo means nucleus. So this is a temporary stage where we can see two nuclei. Di means two, karyo means nucleus. So during sexual reproduction, first two cells come close. Cytoplasm will fuse, known as plasmogamy. Next temporary phase showing dikaryophase, and then this is a cell, proper union of nucleus, and this we call karyogamy. Thus, a diploid cell will form. Like this, fungi reproduce vegetatively, by fission, budding, regeneration, sexually by producing special spores, and sexual reproduction by producing ascospores, basidiospores, and so on. During sexual reproduction, the first stage is plasmogamy, second stage is karyogamy. This is temporary phase called dikaryophase. In this session, I covered most of the general characters of fungi and the mode of reproduction in them. So when we compare this, definitely they are well developed than monerans and protists. Thank you very much.